Hey, you listening there. Check this out. I got something exciting to tell you. You know what? You know, I'm too excited. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling here upon my own words. iHeartRadio, Pato's Powerhouse is now available on iHeartRadio. Also, Cursory Overload is available on iHeartRadio. So, uh, wow. You know what? Let's get this party started.
You're listening to Pato's Powerhouse.
Hey everybody, welcome to Pato's Powerhouse. And I couldn't help it. I had to tell you at the beginning of the podcast, before we even got started. I mean, iHeartRadio. We are available on iHeartRadio. Can you believe that? I mean, we've been doing this for now over a year. Dang, we can even say that. We've been doing this for over a year. Man, I like the sound of that. But what I'm saying is, we've been doing this for 1 year. Now, before we hit the 1 year mark, Pato's Powerhouse and Cursory Overload were available on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, of course, and Spotify. I mean, even before we hit the 1 year mark, we had those big accomplishments. Our podcasts, which, and you know, we're just starting, we're learning. I mean, this is like, we're the rookies here, but we were available already on those four major players, you know, where people get their podcasts. You know, in fact, not only that, you can go on Google and type in Pato's Powerhouse or type in Cursory Overload, and man, we have a web presence. I mean, we're out there. So I mean, I am very impressed to what we've accomplished in a year. So. And we put in for iHeartRadio, and it is January 10th today. It's the 10th. Yes, it is. And as I was getting ready to record, I noticed that we are on iHeartRadio. Wow, this is amazing to me. It's pretty awesome. And, you know, it just goes to show that if you work hard at something, I mean, you know, and you keep going, you will achieve it. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, no, wow, is it really? No, but what I'm saying is, our goal was to get on iHeartRadio. In fact, I remember the last episode of Cursory Overload. In the one, you know, check it out. We celebrate 1 year of Cursory Overload. K-Dog put it out there. You know, I'm putting it out there to the universe. And basically, I said, yeah, you know what? I second that. Basically, I said, we're speaking this into reality. We're going to be on iHeartRadio, and the one that's pending now, it's Pandora. So, pretty soon, hopefully, I'll be able to sit here and tell you that we're on Pandora as well. But, excuse me. Right now, like I said, I'm just excited to know that we are on iHeartRadio. How cool is that, right? Well, let me gather my thoughts a little bit more. I'm going to talk about the Aquaman movie, and took the family to go watch it. But before I get into that, I pre-recorded this thing that is going into Pato's Corner. Now, if you remember, Pato's Corner is something that it was originally going to be called Pato's Comedy Corner, but as it turns out, you got to be funny to, you know, call it comedy and shit like that. So to play it safe, we're just calling it Pato's Corner. And well, check it out. And by the way, if you got incidents and little things that, you know, you want to record and send them to me, maybe they'll make it on the radio. They'll make it on the radio. Wow, they'll make it on the show. I mean, you know, podcast. I guess I got iHeartRadio on the brain right now. That's why the word radio just happens to be there. But without further ado, let's go to Pato's Corner. Alrighty? Hey everybody, welcome to Pato's Corner. Today I'm going to talk about something that, well, I guess you gotta be from the Valley of the Sun or a similar place with horrible heat. Um, Here in Phoenix, summertime can get pretty nasty, right? 115, 110 degree weather. It's horrible. That's usually the time I like to invite relatives, so that they don't get any crazy ideas and move out here. But anyway, that's when I have them over. I'm just kidding. Not really. Some of my relatives they live in worse places. I mean, I got relatives in Cali that they're like in Indio area, and boy, that makes Phoenix feel like paradise, quite honestly. So, bottom line is, what I'm saying is, if you've been born and raised here, or you've lived out here for a few years, eventually your blood thins out to the point where temperatures below 75 degrees feel like you're fucking freezing. I'm not kidding. I mean, that's my story. I mean, hey, I go back to LA in the summertime. We go to a theme park or something, and while everybody there is running around in their tank tops, shorts, and their summer clothes, I mean, that breeze kicks in the evening. I'm wearing a sweater. Another thing, when we go to those theme parks, when we're out there, any water ride, if it didn't happen between the time we got there and noon, it's not happening. I'm sorry. It's just too fucking cold for me. So, here I am, in the Valley of the Sun, working in my line of work, which means I'm in a tin guard shack, which doesn't really keep warm, even though it has like a heater, but we got the door open, so it doesn't really stay warm in here. But yet, it's still better than being out in the elements. So, we got people rolling in the morning, and sometimes I wonder if these people are like really, really nice, or if they're just sadistic bastards who are planning to just, they be evil and keep me out there in the cold. Let me explain. First of all, we have some people that will stop, as they're rolling in through the gate, you check them, make sure they have their decals and everything. But they'll stop there and they'll talk to you. And some of them I know, and they're really, really nice people, and I appreciate them. And, I love you to death, but come on, it's cold out here. Get out of here. Let me get back into the tin shed. But, I mean, some of them are really legitimately nice. But I just know that there's some, how can I say, despicable, sadistic bastards that as they're rolling in, they look at the temperature gauge in their car and they're like, 35 degrees. I gotta stop by and say hi to the guard. And they're like, hi, how are you? Oh, doing great. Have a nice day. Oh, how was your weekend? Yeah, good. And you know that they're just like holding you there and you're building up a line. And it's cold as fuck. And all you really want to say is like, hey, you're cool, man. Come on, I like you. Now get the fuck out of here. It's cold. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are just that nice. I mean, they really want to know what the security guard did on his weekend. I don't know. Some people are like that. Or maybe it's the other one. Who knows, right? Who really knows what lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows, I guess. Alrighty. Well, there you heard it. That's Pato's Corner. And, yeah, it happens a lot. Sometimes I know there's a lot of nice people and, I really appreciate them. And like I said, I love them. It's just that I just know that there is some people that do that on purpose. They know that it's cold as fuck out there and they try to keep us out there as long as possible by, hi, how you doing? How's your mom? How's your this? Hey, what the fuck do you care? You don't know them. You just know it's 32 degrees out here and you're trying to make me freeze. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's see. Okay. iHeartRadio. I'm still digesting that. As I was saying, I was going to talk about the Aquaman movie. I'm not going to spoil it. The family and I went to the movies, and originally we were going to go see Mary Poppins. But what happened, I guess the kids, when we got there, they started seeing the posters and reading the signs, and then they pointed out that Aquaman starts 15 minutes before Mary Poppins and blah, blah, blah. And so they said Aquaman, and I looked at Mrs. Pato, and we're like, let's go watch Aquaman. I'm sure, the eye candy was, the 13-year-old and Mrs. Pato were wanted to go see some eye candy, that Jason Momoa guy. So, anyway, as I was saying, we watched Aquaman. I'm like, wow, like I said, no spoilers because it's pretty new, but definitely go watch that movie. DC should have been doing this from the get-go. Just make good movies. Don't worry about playing catch-up with Marvel. Last time I checked, that movie had grossed, I guess, $800,000 worldwide. So it probably hit $1 billion by now. I haven't checked. Don't quote me. Today is January 10th. I'll Google it after I'm done recording, I guess. But bottom line, it's a very, very good movie, very good story. They went all out on this one. I guess maybe they wanted to make sure they told a good story just in case they pulled the plug like on the Justice League ones, right? Anyway, it's one of those movies where even though we grew up, especially my generation, I'm gonna be 45 this year. I grew up watching Super Friends, so we're familiar with Aquaman. And it's very cool the way they use some of the features that we were used to from the cartoon, like the way he talked to the fish, and that's about as much as I'm going to spoil. All I'm going to tell you is that this movie, when you come out of the theater, you come out with the feeling that, hey, I got my money's worth. They showed me something, and entertaining, and like I said, I like a little humor in the superhero movies because, come on, I am well aware that we're watching a movie based on a comic book. And of course, some fandom people may be like, blasphemy, how dare you? Look, come on. It is what it is. We watch these movies for entertainment purposes. We read comic books for entertainment purposes. The fact that some people want to give it, I don't know, make it like a almost religious, they give almost a religious devotion to that. It's that's a different story. All I'm saying is it's a good movie. Go watch it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, without spoiling it, there's not much to talk about, right? Except the fact that, the 13-year-old, my 13-year-old daughter, she's like, Aquaman, and I'm looking like, really? I'm like, seriously? I know why you want to watch Aquaman. You can't fool me. I know y'all want to go see Jason Momoa. Oh, God, is it Jason? Gosh, I hope I'm not. All I know is, dude is pretty bad. I liked him in Conan. When he did Conan, I thought that was a pretty good movie. I think he made a pretty good Conan. It was, and I thought that was going to be hard to replace. Any other Conan besides Schwarzenegger was not really an easy thing for me to accept, and he pulled it off really nicely. So Aquaman. Hey, well, we all knew. Because he did cameos in Justice League, and we all knew it was going to be badass, and it is. So go watch it. I'm reaching the 15-minute mark, which means my break is almost up. And you know what? I didn't get a chance to thank you for listening early when I started because I was just so excited that we're on iHeartRadio now. Let me say thank you for being there with us all this, all year long. Stick around for another year and many more to come. Come on, stick around. I really, really need someone to blame. Just kidding. I really, really appreciate you because, like I said, everyone and their motherfucking dog has a podcast. So I know you got options out there. There's options. I listen to about 15 different podcasts. And you think I'd be much better at podcasting now. But one thing is listening to podcasts. And the other thing is podcasting. I've always said this,